Hi, guys. We
Hi.
are live. It's Lindy and Carly, the famous Carly in Montana.
Oh,
She's going to be in the newspaper one day, as you guys, you wait and see. We're so happy to see you. We're going to give a little bit of time for people to get on and make sure that you're getting this live. Um,
yeah, really.
I see zero right now, and I don't even see Paul. So, going to give it a few minutes. So there we go. Carmen's here.
Morning.
Hi, Carmen. So good to
Carmen,
see
sweet,
you.
beautiful Carmen.
We're happy to have you. Paul, is
Yes.
that you saying hello? It says face. Okay, let me see something for a minute. Are you hearing a kickback, Carly?
Oh, yeah, I killed it.
Okay.
I
I was
killed
just
the
making sure it
kickback.
wasn't. I was making sure it wasn't me. Thank you guys for
Oh,
being
Jill.
patient for a minute while
Oh,
we sort of
Jill. Oh, my
set up.
goodness.
It's
Hello.
Naomi and Jill and Lacey. Hi,
Friends.
Lacey. And I don't know. I don't see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you guys know that we are casual. We're like sitting in the living room together. You can imagine that. And or the music room, it looks like behind Carly. There's a guitar on the wall. And I have my trying to do it looking at the camera backwards. My coffee with my straw. And we're just here to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wild and crazy, you guys, and it's okay. Mm, okay.
Yep.
We had tornado not too far from us today here in the at the Charlotte, North Carolina, South Carolina line, but a little further south, closer to my mother. So we just welcomed you to class 3, and we're glad for everybody that's jumping on here. We're so glad to see you, and we've had so much fun with you the last 3 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
you guys have blown us away with your interaction and just your sweet comments and just being a part, and we love that, and we really want to build on community that way. So make sure when this class is over that you try to hook up with Nashur, which is I think the Hebrew name for baby eagles, and it's Naomi Byers Ministry, and we're all in there together. Susan Yamontis is having a class coming up on healing for 6 weeks, so you may be interested in that, and that's actually posted in here. And
Mm-hmm.
so we just don't want to lose contact with all you guys. And so the name of our class, which lovely Carly came up with, you want to tell them what it is, Carly?
It
Permission.
is. Yes, it's a permission slip for fun. And
Yes.
Lindy, do you wanna kind of start with why we
Yeah.
feel like this is so important?
Yes.
Okay,
You want me to start or
great.
you to start?
Well, either either way, I can if you want me to.
Is that all of what you're sharing, or we're going to go back and forth?
You go
Okay.
because I think
Um.
you have more. Okay.
Okay. Um. Yeah, we were talking about a little bit about how we both have been around or in churches or around people, around Christians, non-Christians, but Christians mostly, and that have had an attitude sometimes, and even in the churches, like I've been in different ministries for years and years, a lot longer than Carly, a lot older than Carly, and but God's making me younger, um, and I take that, and yeah, but but and I'm not trying to criticize church leaders or anything like that. But there is and has been resistance to having fun, being joyful,
Hmm.
and being taught that, I think it comes maybe from the Middle Ages. I don't know, or maybe just from the enemy itself. And if you see me doing this, I'm not crying. Well, I sort of am because I think I got moisturizer in my eye. Um, but also my eyes do that sometimes. But anyway, I think it comes from, thinking that church, you need to be serious. You need to be serious about God. You need to be serious about scriptures. And you know what? We do. We do need to be serious about
Mhm.
it. It is life giving and it is a vital part, excuse me, guys, of our lives. But but there's also the other side of that can sort of kill part of our picture of God and father the father's nature and the son's and the Holy Spirit even nature of laughing and joy. God is the one that said, uh I mean, in the Bible it said the kingdom of God is righteousness, peace, and joy. So a third of the
Mm.
kingdom is joy. And I know that laughter is a part of joy. And I know that biblical laughter and peace are a lot different than the world's. But the things that we do in the world, especially after we're Christians, everything is spiritual, that we do as long as we're walking with Him and, you know, walking within His, the what's the word? Perimeters of what He's, said we should do. Um, if it's drinking coffee, and I know some of this we're repeating and we're doing this on purpose, but uh, if we're out in the garden planting flowers, if we're at the beach, whatever it is, it's all spiritual and it's with him because he's inside of you. But I've been in places, in fact, I had someone tell me, several people, you're not serious enough when you're teaching, you're not serious enough when you're, talking about the scriptures, and you're not serious. Well, my makeup, and I know Carly's, is to have fun, and everything has its place and everything, but that laughter and stuff has been pressed down, really pressed down. Now, I do have some other things to share about that, Carly, but do you want to share a little bit and sort of go back and forth why you felt that way? Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Lindy and all you gals, you know. I mean, there is a time for both, right, Lindy?
Yes.
And I was gonna say yeah, just to be us is really, really important. I mean, if we go back to even the original intent of God, we were just, I mean, I don't know. I'm asking like a lot of questions, but just being with God, and so it's okay. It's okay to just without, all the assignments and even the offices. And I'm not saying that those aren't important at all, but it's like just being yourself is such a beautiful thing. And like Lindy was saying, we have had so much fun getting to know everybody. And that has started in class one, and it's just going and progressing, and it's just a fun thing. And so we just really do want to keep that going, and Lindy's going to talk more about that later. But I remember my mom, she told me once growing up, and I was really struggling, like trying to find out what am I going to do with my life. Like I had some physical stuff, like there was just feeling like so much pressure. And right now in the time and seasons that we're in, it's like so exciting, but there can be just a lot of pressure and even learning a lot right now. Like we're all just kind of we're in school, we're learning, we're who here isn't being stretched right now because we're here, we said yes. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm doing that, sometimes I get just kind of like almost I mean, this is going to sound weird, but almost constipated with information, and there needs to
Overwhelmed.
be an,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there needs to be an outlet for that. And we can do awesome things like, give away the joy, the peace, the prophetic words like Jess's class and soon the healing stuff and all that's fabulous. But, once, yeah, when I was just struggling and having a hard time, my mom was just, she told me, she's like, everywhere you go, Carly, it's fun. So I really do feel like God gave me kind of a just just a gift of being like a kid, you know, and it's an awesome thing. But what was challenging was like, how do I fit that into, you know, life? How do I take that and make that a serious thing? And then you had the spiritual stuff, and like Lindy was saying, like sometimes that if we're not serious, which really we do take God so serious. I mean, that is like, but how many times and how many encounters has, you know, like the cheesecake encounter, that's the times that he does laugh. It just brings so much freedom to me. And once as an exercise in this workbook, it he said, just as an exercise, ask the Holy Spirit just one word to describe your relationship. And I was nervous for days. I mean, I was like, kind of grew up a little bit on, you know, just some more of the religious teaching, like that, you know, God is angry, like JQ was saying in the beginning here. And so I was really nervous. I was really nervous to ask him because it's like, what if he doesn't like me? You know, like all those rejection
Mm-hmm.
weirdo things that we can have. And he said the word was fun, and I bawled. It was like
Oh,
such a I mean, yeah, I was wrecked over that. Just that he can view it, but yeah, it was just a like a really cool mirror. Hey guys, I'm just talking, and you know, funner interruptions like that. But it was really important. It was really important to me because I was trying to. Ashton, can you guys shut that door, please?
real life, you guys, and it's okay.
Yeah, real life. And so
Real life.
I kind of struggled like, how do I do that in the church? Because as far as I knew, church wasn't that fun. You know what I mean? Like it was like actually the lack of fun in church that kind of drove me like to the lie. Like the true fun, I don't believe we can have and be whole and heal. Like reference Steph's class, you say yes to things that you don't want to, no to things that you don't want to, right? You say no
Mm-hmm.
to God and yes to all these other things, you know, of the world. But I didn't know how to bring that into the church. I didn't know that he was fun before then. And so anyway, to kind of say in a balanced way that I took fun apart from God. Baby, I'm just talking, okay? And anyway, I kind of hid in fun, you know, and I would go dive in fun. I wasn't taking care of business. So like Lindy and I were saying earlier that with everything there's balance, right? With everything there's balance. So if you go hide in anything that isn't God, because he is the place you want to hide in, you can get off. And so I forgot to take care of business and forgot that I have business to do here, but to balance that, and like Naomi said earlier, like just to be us, just to be who we are. And it's okay if like you tell jokes and you have fun, and that's something that really opens up, you know, like the floodgate for revelation for me is like, if I get too serious, which I do all the time with God, I'm asking questions. I'm like, how is this going to work out? You know, I'm like thinking I'm like doing this, and that is good. I don't think he's mad at me for that, you know, but like just the hard kind of learning times and like the stretching and all that kind of stuff. And like I've told you this, and maybe I've told other people, but God has told me before, Carly, go fishing. Like, time out. Like, go have fun. And it's like the joy of that, those simple things, it's like boom. And then all of a sudden, revelation can flow again. So I just think
Yeah.
fun can be such a gateway to spiritual things. I really do believe that. I
Yeah.
just believe that so much.
That is so good, Carly. And recreation, which going fishing is recreation, a pastor I used to know
Yeah.
said is recreation. Recreation is
Oh,
recreation. You go
that's
and you get
good.
refreshed and you know, have a time out and you have fun and you have joy in whatever it is that you're doing. But also, uh, growing up as a teenager, I, well, as a teenager, growing up as a teen, as a child even, you know what I remember as a little child? It wasn't, I mean, yes, I remember church songs and, the classes we did. That was fun. But the most that I remember is the fun that I had at church. Like we would have, I went
Oh.
to a Baptist church, and on Wednesday nights, it was the fellowship and the fun. We, and what do you do if you have a good family? I know some of you have traumatic families, and I had that growing up some too. But what do we do when we get together with our families? Like at Christmas, we laugh, we have fun, we have fellowship, we eat, we drink, we're merry, and it bonds us. And I feel like the things in
Mm-hmm.
church, like even when I was little, I mean, little, like, 6, 7, we'd go to Wednesday night spaghetti supper before church. And that was my favorite time. And the food was nice. I did like spaghetti as a child, but the thing that I loved was sitting down at and Jenny, if you're on here, my childhood friend, it was Eastern Hills. I don't know if you ever went there, if that was before you got there from Roanoke, but Baptist church. But it was meeting. We would sit down with our trays of food and meet different people and speak to them and get to know people and just fellowship. And then as a teenager, the youth group things where we went and had fun. That stuck with me more
Mm.
than any message I heard. And not to say that the messages weren't important, because they certainly are. And we survive and we live by the word. But it was the fun, it was the fellowship, it was the bonding together, and it was vacation Bible school. Yes, Jenny and I went to another Shamrock Baptist church when we were little, and I remember
Mm.
vacation Bible school. It was fun. We made things. I do remember some of the verses, but I remember the things they did with us, but it was a good safe place to just have good you know, good fun. So, but growing up in the church, my personality, and I used to feel guilty for this. I always wanted to have fun. I
Mm.
have to have fun. If I don't even have, like, if I have a day without 5 minutes of fun, I'm a grouch. I don't, it's a creative outlet for me, and it's like a survival thing in some ways. And I think that part of that is ever from a traumatic childhood, but part of it is my makeup. But a lot of times I didn't get to be a kid because I was in a trauma situation and with my father. And so now I just want to be a big kid all the time. And those shirts that say not adulting, I love those, because we need to be like children, have fun, and there's a place for it all. But I went to a
Mm.
a ministry thing one time at a church, and they were going around in a circle telling different things. And I was telling this how I just feel like he was a counselor, and how I just felt like I had to have fun. And he said, you know what, that's he validated it. He said that is part of your makeup, and some people just have to have fun. And I was like, what? I've never heard that. I just thought I was weird, that like I was like some little kid or something that had to have fun. Well, you know what? It's important. I'm sorry. Um, I'm glad that we're just real here. Sorry, you guys. This
Oh,
happens.
Lindy, that's
Um,
yeah.
so anyway, so the other day I about came out of my seat because I don't know if you guys know who Charles Spurgeon is, and if you don't, look him up. But he's very well known. Um, I can't even think right now. He's a very well known writer, I think pastor, I don't know. All those things. He if anybody knows the background of Charles Spurgeon, please just pop it up there, because right now my um another thing that happens with me, left over from the chemo that I'm healed from, is that I am um sometimes have, and I'm having it right now, I have brain fog. But okay, anyway, Spurgeon is well known, and sometimes when I've heard him, I would thought he was a little serious. Well, I found this the other day, and I thought I was going to come out of my seat when I found it. And I think I called Carly or uh, wrote her. I don't remember which one, but I was like, Carly, you're not going to believe what I found. Spurgeon once was criticized for putting too much laughter into his sermons. Frivolous, lacking gravity. His reply to the woman who had buttonholed him with the classic, with was classic. sorry. My good lady, if you only knew how much I restrain myself. What?
Mm,
And he says this psalm shows us not only laughter, and Carly's going to read it in a minute, and God go together, but also God and joy. And this psalm is written to help you discover the secret of joy. So I'm going to let you read it, and then I'm going to say a few other things about that, if you don't mind, Carly, reading it.
yep,
Thank you.
no problem. Okay, so it's Psalms 126, and we're just starting at 1. When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dreamed. Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us, and we were filled with joy. Restore our fortunes, Lord, like streams in the Negev. Negev.
Negev, whatever that is.
We need Jordan.
Yeah.
Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy. Those who go out weeping, carrying seeds to sow, will return with songs of joy, carrying sheaves with them.
And I so love that. And I'm so thankful, Carly, that I we planned ahead of time for you to read that because my eyes were watering so much. So yes, yes, yes. Um, God, you knew what you were doing. So
So does.
the version that I had, the very first part of that says we were like
Mm,
dreamers. And the reason I say that is because um you know that joy, the secret of joy, part of it is this joy is a result of being restored by God, restored to him and with him and being restored
mhm,
by him.
mhm,
And um and it's not happy because of your genetics, but happy because what God has done for you. And this joy is based upon an objective, real, God given restoration. And those who have this joy are like those who dream. The ancient world, when it referred to dreams, did not, first of all, mean a daydream. It means a dream like in your sleep. So,
mm,
it means the actual dream, the sort of dream. And so when the psalmist says this, and this is one that I love that David wrote about this, King David. Um, he says this was like dreaming. He is comparing joy to a very good actual dream. Have any of y'all had good dreams where you're like, I wish I wasn't waking up? Me. I'm just like, I'm like, if I have a good dream, I'm like, oh, I had to wake up from that. And that is what King David was writing about this. So it's not based on um, the kind of joy that you have to drill for. It's not based on just, you know, frivolous joy, which that's okay, to have that and to stir up the real kind of joy, but it's just based on what God, the goodness of God really is what the bottom line of it is, the goodness of God. And we can experience the goodness of God every single day. Um, so I was just so excited about finding that, and even that Psalms 126, it just excites me so much. And Carly, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
gosh, I just love that. I love like the dreamers. That is just
The
so powerful
dreamers.
to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The dreamers.
And yeah, and I think, Lindy and I were just kind of talking about how fun to each of us is different, but there is so much fun to be had in the Lord. I mean, he is he is wild, and I just feel like we're on the brink, and we get to learn so much in all these classes of just how wildly fun he is. And I'm just excited. I'm excited that this can continue, and I think that we're making memories. We're making memories even as a family, even as a family unit. And yeah, we're giving you a huge permission slip just to have fun, and as people who've been perhaps even a little persecuted. Well, I'm using that word pretty lightly, but Lindy, through different verbal things, and like her saying that she was, that was trying to be robbed from her when she was little, is just being a kid, and that we get to be a kid forever with the Lord. Not that we aren't get to be mature sons too, but we get to run to him and accept the kingdom like kids. And he just loves us for what we are. I don't think I could hear that enough. And that, I guess, is the best way that he kind of gets to me. You know what I mean? Like, when he tells me just those things, that he just loves me just as I am, that I wouldn't have to do a single thing more. I wouldn't have to prophesy a thing. I wouldn't have to teach a class. I wouldn't have to be the perfect mom or this or that. But that is sort of like my gateway. Like, I'm a big picture person, that comes, and it just like it does something to my heart, and the love of that and the love of him just makes me want to go handle my business. And it's okay however you're built, that if you want to get things done first and then have fun, like, whoa, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just so cool that it's like, how is God like this? Just so personal. And he made us all like our individual selves and with individual gifts, and we can glean from each other on these classes. And I just find that like simply amazing. And you know, anyway, and that to say, I was just thinking that part of what we could do, if we want, is just, what is fun to you. And sometimes, in whatever season you're in, like if you're a busy mom, if you are working or things are changing, or even like the shaking stuff that's going on, we're praying for nations, all this stuff. We were wondering what you guys think is fun, like what is fun to you, because it can be a prophetic word. I mean, it can literally be anything. What you do for fun, or what you want to do for fun, and then any plans you have for fun this year. And I don't know, we're just even saying today, just, if we're in kind of a more serious season, like God's doing some business. And if anyone disagrees, that is fine. That's absolutely fine to disagree. Um,
Definitely
but,
shaking going on. You can feel it in the atmosphere and heaviness. And
yeah.
yeah,
So I just think that sometimes these things, for me, even, they're easy to forget. And then, if I
yes.
just do those simple, fun things, it's like, okay, I'm a little bit ready. I'm ready now, and it's, I think, sometimes a self-care thing.
Yes, it is a self care. And laughter, because of, you know, the world that we live in, laughter is, it decreases stress hormones and increases immune cells and infection fighting antibodies, improving your resistance
Mm,
to disease. It triggers the release of endorphins. These are body's natural feel good chemicals which promote an overall sense of well being and temporary pain relief. So, you know, there is a time for everything. And Abraham and Sarah laughed when
mm,
God told them they were going to have a baby at 100. In Ecclesiastes, we learned that there's a time to weep and a time to laugh. And so we're not saying just go around being goofy all the time, although sometimes I am that way. But yeah, but we're just saying try to make it part of your life. You know, some people do need permission to do that because they've been
mhm,
raised that or told that same thing in church. And it's not, it's like I said, I don't want to really criticize, but there are people and still are people that are like, there you can get so one tracked mind that you leave out a part of a nature of God that God intends for us to have for our own well-being, restoring, refreshing. And King David said in Psalms 30, God brought a lot about David up to me in Psalms 30, 4 through 5, that weeping in the night, the part about weeping in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And that's another thing I want to encourage and speak over some of y'all. I think there are some of you that have been weeping in the night, but joy is going to come in the morning. And that's a relative, kind of thing. It doesn't mean the minute you wake up, but it could be, it means that it's coming. Joy is coming. and the tears that we sow, he's going to bring the balm of Gilead. And also, um, I just want to make sure.
Hmm.
Okay, thankfulness. King David. One thing I love about him, King David is known for his thankfulness in his Psalms. Thankfulness, I think, is something that can cause us to have joy in the most simple way. Just being thankful for your coffee, being thankful that you have a friend like Carly to talk to, or being thankful that you have, art to do, or be thankful that you get to see somebody smile, big, little things, all those things. Being thankful and grateful for everything. And I think that we can, I don't want to go into this a lot, but I think we can look at like the Ukraine right now, and we, bless them, and but it really makes you appreciate, because I remember even in 911 when all that happened, families got together more, people appreciated everyday things more. Gratitude, that's right, gratitude, Kristen. Um, and thankfulness is a huge gateway to joy also. We can look at all the things that are wrong and all the things that are around us, but we can also take comfort in the goodness of God, even if it's the small things that he's blessed us with, just to have water, to sleep in a bed, to be in a house. All those
Hmm.
things bring us joy. And we in Psalms 95 1 through 2, and I do have that. He says, "Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with
Hmm.
thanksgiving and extol him with music and song." And I just really love, um, being thankful to God for everything that he has done. And, yeah. I, oh, there's one thing, Carly, we forgot. And you may have something else you want to bring in. Do you have something that's on your mind? Because there's so, okay.
You, not really. I just looked up the definition of fun today and it was just enjoyment, which I thought was pretty cool, and
Yeah.
amusement or lighthearted pleasure. Like,
Oh, I
so
love that. Yes.
yeah, just
Yeah.
the lightness, and even like the exchanging of yolks. I just, you know what I mean? It's just
Yes.
like how many times do we, and like our first class, um, Steph Golby, Gold, yeah.
Colby. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just bringing all of our stuff to him and being so honest, and he gives us, his yoke is easy and light, and I don't know. It's he's just so beautiful and he's so multifaceted, and I'm officially probably rambling, but it just
It's okay. Rambling's good. It's good rambling. Okay. So I'm going to bring up something to you, and I hope that you laugh with me and remember this. Okay. Um, Something really funny. Sometimes God really speaks to me. Often he speaks to me in secular stuff. And I was watching a show called The Home Edit. And I don't know how many of you've seen it, heard of it, but it's these two ladies that go in and help people organize either parts of their house, whatever. That is their job. But you know what? It was different. Like sometimes when I've watched those shows, and forgive me, I sort of roll my eyes because I'll, can I tell them what you said, Carla, or you want to tell them what you said that sounds like? You
I
said it
have no
sounded
idea
like,
what you're gonna say.
okay, you said it sounds like torture. you know, to, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Carly and I have something in common. Like, that thing that was going around about Einstein, that his desk had all this stuff on it, and how that they said that geniuses um often they have organized piles and stuff like that. Well, that's sort of me. Um, I am. I've never been a person. Don't even naturally know how to organize. Now I can organize my grocery list, but organizing the house and where this goes, that I am not made that way, and I wish I was, because it would be so much easier. I'm like, my head just naturally. Now my daughter-in-law, she can come and say, okay, we need to put this and this and this and put it in here and put these together. She has a natural gift for that, and so these ladies have that. Okay, Carly, you want to say something before I go into the rest of it?
Well, I do love that, Lindy. I think that that is a perfect thing, even where we're here, because we're sharing the flavor that God is in us,
Yeah.
and we get to share those little parts of Him. Okay, I'm gonna carry on with the
Okay.
story.
Okay. So the reason I'm bringing this up is that these ladies, usually like I would see a show like that, and I'm just like, I'm not watching this. I'm just don't even want to think about that because I can't do it well. Well, these ladies caught my attention because they do something so
Mm,
different. They do it in colors. First of all, they organize a lot of stuff in colors, like even a kitchen pantry, they did it by colors, and it caught my attention because it was creative, it was joyful, it was sort of like art. You just look them up sometime. It's called The Home Edit, and I forgot the ladies' names or where they even, but they work with stars, they work with regular people, they work with all kind of people. Like they went into this people's house, and the guy had been overweight as a child, and the father did, and he wanted his sons to grow up eating healthy snacks and all this kind of
mm,
stuff, and wanted things to be available to them. They had this big walk-in pantry. These women came in, well, actually it was like a team of 20, but it's the two main women. They put these shelves, they moved them where all the snacks were color coordinated. That fascinated me. And it was attractive, and the little 4-year-old that was on the show walked into that pantry after they reorganized it, picked up a tomato which he'd never touched before. They had these wooden bins, and he took a taste of it,
mm,
and the mother was like amazed. But it was down. They made the shelves down where he could reach it, made it attractive and color. And then they had a teenager, and they did his snacks, and then the father had to eat almost like diabetic, but not like they had this trail mix. So they organized this whole trail mix thing for him. And see, that was so much fun. And see how much fun can change your perspective, And you might not think this
mm.
is spiritual, but to me, it's very spiritual because, first of all, it's like, okay, Lindy, it's almost like God said, I'm going to find a fun way for you to organize because that's sort of
I
what it takes. But it really interested me, and it was fun, and it was like, it was creative. And that's actually what got me interested in cooking too, because my mother wasn't a natural cook, and she will tell you that. So I'm not putting her down, but my grandmother was, but not my mother. So I did not learn. Remember Jenny, my friend Jenny on here eating grilled cheese sandwiches all the time. Um, I did not learn how to cook till I was like really good cook till after I was like 30 or 40. And the reason I got interested in it was a different perspective. I got interested in the spices. I got interested in the flavors. I got interested in finding the recipe myself that I liked, and how could I put that together. I rarely cook with, like, I'll take a recipe, but I'll do what I want to do, and it's creative and joyful. So see how much fun can change your perspective in doing something that could be monotonous or irritating or torture.
I love that.
Yeah,
I do love that. And
yeah,
I didn't know that story about cooking. That is so cool.
yeah, it's true. I grew up eating. My
She
mother worked
remembers.
all the time, and I was after like 9 or 10. I was a latchkey kid, and my mother worked all the time. She worked late, and she just wasn't into cooking, and I don't blame her. And I didn't learn that from anybody because even though my grandmother was a cook, she didn't teach me. And so yeah, that was interesting when I first was learning to cook. It was very interesting. I tried to make an apple pie. It was a joke. Because if you haven't cooked hardly anything, then trying to do something like apple pie is a very big undertaking, making the crust, doing everything.
Yeah.
And I still
Oh
don't
my
do baking stuff really
gosh.
well. Now I think Carly is a baker. No, you're always making like cupcakes or
Yeah,
those
I
crispy thing,
practice.
those cocoa crispy things or whatever they
Yep.
were. What are they called?
Yep. Just a minute. Oh
Choco
my
butterscotch
gosh.
choco crispies. I don't know, something for the kids you were making.
Scotcheroos.
Scotcheroos. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but anyway, it's this is. At least tacos are easy. Kara said, "That's right." I that is right. But tacos are fun too because you can change the stuff. But anyway, I don't mean to be rambling. I just wanted to bring in a little fun. You know, to me, that is spiritual. Somebody did say that up here, and you know, Paul, was that you that said you make grilled cheese sandwiches for me? He does. He's
Oh,
he's a good. Some of the best cooks are men, and he does make them for me once in a while. And I'll say, "Oh, that makes me feel like a kid," because my mother could make grilled cheese sandwiches. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but you guys,
that's
um,
hilarious.
we love you, and we have had a really good time with you, and I hope this has been a joy for you. And Carly, before we go into all the activations, all 300 of them, I'm just kidding. Um, do you have anything else that's on your
Gosh,
heart?
I just don't think so. But I just was thinking, just we get to make memories together, like here and just the friendships. And I'm just really thankful for that. And we get to just learn. And I think it's been that beautiful, challenging thing, even to be honored to come on here and just it's kind of like she's hungry. Jackson's
I'm
hungry,
hungry
she
too.
says.
I never eat
I want a
before
grilled
class.
cheese and I
Yeah,
did eat dinner. Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just it does stretch you and you start to really, ask God, and it really stretched me a lot to be like, how in the blazes is this going to happen? Or what does he look like in me? You know what I mean? What do
It
you look
is.
like in him? And it's just a cool thing. And we get the more authentic, and I'm learning how to do that, the more authentic we can be, like Lindy was talking about. I love that the regular stuff can be he can speak through it all.
Yeah,
And he wants to be a part of it all. And I think that's just
yeah,
actually mind blowing.
yeah. My friend was saying that we ate a lot of fast food. We did. As teens, it was Taco Bell and Pizza Hut all the time. But I think a lot of teenagers did that. Um, but my mother liked Pizza Hut. So I just thank you guys, and I hope you got a lot out of this. And we had fun doing it with you. You know, I got a text even right before this class 2 days ago with thinking, what if they just think we're fluff? What if they think we're not serious about God? But most of you that know us know that we are. We've both been in at least two schools, I think, together. And, anybody who goes to school to learn about God has, well, I shouldn't say anybody, but um, we have a heart for God. We want to learn. We love God, and we do study scriptures, and we do pray and intercede and do all those things. But this is just a
Yeah, we
different,
really do.
we really do. We promise. Um,
I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
I did think it's funny too. Um, but we just wanted to bring you a little different flavor, and
Mhm.
all of it flows together: the serious, the fun, the all of it. And I think there's a little bit of serious. There can be a little bit of fun in all of it. But okay. So here's some of our assignments. And you sort of told part of the assignment, didn't you, Carly?
Well, I don't know if we want to make it an assignment or not. You go, and then we can.
Okay.
Well,
So I think what Carly was starting, and then I didn't know if she was like going to end it, so I wanted to pop some more things in there real quick. So, um, and it was fine, Carly, but assignment, homework assignment, whatever. So you choose is what we always say. If you choose, is um, we would really love it. Number one, and I will put this in there tomorrow, like I have with the other stuff. How to keep building community that we've done with this class, because I think laughing together and um, having fun together, and hi Dad, um, that's your friend from Alaska, right? Deb Mitchell. Okay,
yes.
hi, so glad you're on here. Um, and so how can we want to know, if you don't mind, How do you think that we can keep building community, not lose, some of the friendships and the things that we've been building here? What, in your opinion, and don't put it here. We want you to please put it in the group chat um, later, or tonight or whenever, if you choose to do this. What you think, number one, would help
Mm,
that to keep going? And I want to challenge you, a little challenge. This is the challenge, if you decide to take it, to try to contact at least one person in this group that you don't normally talk to as much.
I
Send
dig
them a
that.
note, send them a encouragement, sending them something joyful, even if it's, hey, my coffee is great today. Whatever it is, just a hello, just to keep this going. And number two is, I really thought it would be really cool, because one of the things that is very joyful, and God, I mean, we know that God's creative. I mean, look at how he formed the world. Look at the diversity in the world. I mean, we could never, ever, you know, count it all. I mean, there, the oceans, the beaches, well, ocean, beaches, lakes, the rivers, the desert. I know, the desert. See, we think that's funny. We just laugh. The the deserts, the animals, the everything,
Yeah.
the
Yep.
trees, the plants, everything. He's creative. How he created, he spoke it into existence. So he is, and he has creative joy. He's the biggest artist there is out there. So here is the activation. If you could, or if you would like to, share art in a joy therapeutic kind of way, what is therapeutic to you? And it doesn't have to be a painting. It could be a painting. It could be a drawing. It could be, which we've sort of done that a little bit, but this is a little different, because it can be something that you write, a poem. It can be baking. It can be any kind of art. There's lots of art forms out there. There's clay. There's help me out here, Carly. There's um oh,
A food.
food.
I mean,
Yes,
you could put
creative.
a
Yeah,
picture of your
yeah,
favorite grilled cheese sandwich.
yeah.
I mean, really, you
That's a
right?
good
I mean,
idea. Yeah, that is good. Good, good. It will remind me of my childhood. Something that brings joy. Um, anything you want. It can be a picture, a photograph. I know Lacey in here takes photographs, beautiful photographs. So,
awesome.
okay. And then the third one,
Be
what were you going to say?
oh, just Deb put on there bedazzling anything. I love that. We're gonna
Uh,
need to see pictures now.
yes,
And
bedazzling
speaking of,
anything.
yes, yes. I'm gonna add something at the end. Sorry.
Lots of hot glue, she says. I like that. Okay, yes. And the third thing, this is a big challenge for a lot of you. But the reason I'm telling you this is because, first of all, I would have liked to seen every one of you on video in our chat, just to see you live. If you want to do that, you can do it. You don't have to. But I tell you what, I cried when I went to EP, one of my schools, my first schools, Emerging Prophets, when I found out. Carly knows this. When I found out that we were going to have to be on camera, because I had been sequestered almost 5, 6 years, but because of the chemo and being inside, and not, it changed my bodies in a lot of ways, and how I felt about myself, and
Mm,
all this kind of stuff. And I just loved being hidden. I was the person that would, at you know, once this happened, that I was just happy to be back by the sound stage. I don't want to be out anywhere. And God was like, no, 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 no. I have
mhm.
plans for you, lady. And so the person who helped me with that was Heather Ferrante, because if you see her now, you would never think that she ever had problem at all being on camera. She said that she felt the same way, and she went in, in within like 3 months of starting to do it. And you know what? And I think Carly can attest to this. You know how you get over it? How do you get over it, Carly?
You can do it.
You
You
do it.
do it scared, like
You do it.
Naomi said.
Do
Yep.
it scared. Mm-hmm. And so, but if you, and then if you, and the other part of that, if you don't want to do video and just say hi, that's all you have to do is say, hi, I'm Jenny, or hi, I'm Deb. If you don't want to do that, the second part of that is a little shorter step, is to put a selfie of yourself. And it can be a goofy face, just a goofy face. It can be serious. It can be black and white, picture.
Hmm.
It can be anything you want. Just
Yep.
let us see you, because every single one of you is beautiful. God made you beautiful. Um, I just love you ladies and the hearts that I've seen in you. And I just want to encourage you in that, because I think the enemy likes us to be hidden sometimes and by ourselves and not seen. And the more you do it, the more you're in community, the more easier it gets.
Yep.
So I just want
And
to go ahead,
you know
Carly.
what, Lindy? You know what I didn't think about too is I will tell on a personal thing is that you asked me once for, I think it was me and you and Shannon and Susan, like we were doing some, pop up prophetic thing, and you
Mm-hmm.
asked for a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not know how much I had attached to that. Like, it's so weird because, you just sometimes you don't know what there is hidden there. And God wants us free of all things. And I was like, oh, there's a billion selfies and, like the selfie love and all that kind of stuff. Well, I was so kind of like judgmental towards that. I mean, honestly, just telling on myself, but I didn't realize like when Lindy asked me for a picture, it was like I just realized how insecure I was and just I mean, really seriously, and it did something to me in a good way. When she asked me that, it was like she dared me. You might have even dared me. But I'll tell you
I
what,
think I encouraged you to take another one, because I think
and
your
I got
your
freedom. I
picture that
really
was up
did.
there, remember? Your picture was up there, and I think it was maybe a couple of years old. I could be wrong. And I said, I encourage you. I don't know why. Like, I think it's when we were going to do a live like that, and we needed
Yeah.
a picture for everybody, and we tried to,
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead, Carly, with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it was just one of those things that I didn't realize I had, such issues. I mean, I had a shred of an idea, but really it was more there's more freedom to be had. You know what I mean? And so I have a million things like that. But the more like Lindy's just saying, the more you do, it's just interesting
Yes.
how freedom is right there. It's right there on the other
Oh,
side
yeah.
of whatever problem it
Right.
is,
Right.
whatever weirdo
There's
thing it is, like a picture.
there's joy in facing your fear, believe it or not. And look at Carly, you guys. This Carly had issues about having a picture of her beautiful self. Like the Lord told me she is like Miss America, and I don't think she really likes that, but there was actually
Lindy's
a
like a
meaning,
little bit.
a meaning of Miss Liberty too. But it also was, she just reminds me when she smiles and stuff, she lights up a room. And so, see, it doesn't, you know, to me, every single person has beauty. Okay, especially when you smile or goofy or
Hmm.
whatever, every single person. And, I just want to encourage ladies in that, because I know how we're attacked with the world's idea of beauty. Okay. And we don't have to fit in that mold. We can love ourselves in a healthy way. And that's what, I know what Carly was saying about the selfie thing. There was too much stuff, and there can be too much emphasis on that and stuff like that. But the selfie
Right.
thing, no. But the selfie thing is to get you to sort of have self-care and accept yourself and love yourself, because God does want, he says, love others as you love yourself. So
Yep. Yeah. And
Kristen just
it's
said, go ahead.
yeah, I was just kind of reading that, and I I love it. And Cara, I think I say your name wrong a lot, but she was just saying because God created us, and that is just it's a kind of a thing, and I think God just wants us so free. So I just love that homework. You had shared some, Lindy, but I really really love that so much. About the contact one person and then do yes, it's like we get to see a beautiful picture of God's image if everyone does a selfie. I love that. I think that's a great homework. And do a video if you want, because we love that too. You can say what you're going to do for fun. If that's a subject, for the year or something that you're looking forward to. If that's something that makes it easier to do, a high, do whatever you want, really. And a
Yes.
sidebar for something that I would have never thought of that somebody else did. This friend Deb, who's on here from Alaska, her son was talking to Connor, and so they just asked if he had a Bible, and I'm like, didn't think about it. I'm like, well, he's just 7, but that's a silly thought, right? But so they send in the mail to Connor Kesler and this Action Bible, and it is so dang cool. And he wants to he wants to pray, he wants to bring it to church. It's just really cool. And so and it meant so much because Connor's like, that's the first piece of printed thing that had his name on it. So it's
Oh,
just, I know. So it's just like thinking outside the box, and
precious.
God does do that. So thank you to my beautiful friend Deb. I just wanted to say that was so cool.
That is
Yeah, and
totally.
and Susan just
Susan
saying,
said, "The
yeah,
enemies." Do you remember? Can you see it?
yep, yep,
Okay, go ahead and read it then.
that the enemy wants us to be self-focused, and that includes not stepping out.
Yeah.
Hello, Boo Boo.
Well, we are going to end this, you guys. Hey, hey, hi, Ashlyn. It's Lindy. Hi. What you doing?
What are
You
you
playing
doing?
with Connor?
This one is not scared of a camera like a
No.
child.
What's on your
Like a
shirt, Ashlyn? Ashlyn.
Ashlyn,
Oh, she
what's
can't
on your
hear me.
shirt?
I forgot she can't hear me. Hi, Ashlyn.
Hi.
Hi, Ashlyn. It's Lindy. Can you see me? Can you?
She's
Oh, okay.
she's busy looking at. But
Hi.
anyway, I
She's so beautiful.
we do want to keep this going.
Yes, we do.
Oh.
So I just thank you, Lord, for everybody out there. I thank you for their beautiful hearts, their beautiful self, and I just really hope that in some way or another we can continue this and that God grows the seeds that have been planted in these classes
Mm-hmm.
and all the classes. And don't forget that Susan's got classes coming up. I don't know if Jess's classes are finished yet. I don't remember, but anyway, Mommy. There's different classes Mommy. In within all these groups that
Mm-hmm.
within the Sure. So join that if you're interested in continuing on. But how beautiful. Thank you for a lovely
She's
ending, Ashlyn. Just singing over us, aren't you? Okay, we love you guys.
yeah.
We're gonna
Let's
sign
go.
off, and I will put the homework assignments in tomorrow. Bye. Bye, you guys.
Amen.